Well, 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 well. Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I don't know if you guys saw, but yesterday, one of the biggest social media apps had a pretty steep stock drop. That would be Snapchat. It's just a fraction of what their stock is worth overall, but still, quite a bit of money lost. As it seems yesterday, at least over a certain point in time, it had dropped 2.97% or 0.53 points. Now, why would it do that? Why would it do that? Snapchat, one of the most popular social media apps in the game. I personally don't use it. I personally don't like it. I have been on it a few times. I've tried it. I don't think it's very good. To me, socially, culturally, I think it's trash. I go onto the app and I just basically feel like I'm standing in line at the grocery store and I'm just looking at fucking, periodical rags and just like gossip magazines and just the dumbest bullshit that I would ever want to be exposed to, just like all hitting me at once. I'm sure, there are cool people doing cool things on Snapchat, but it's just not my medium. I don't care for it. I have no interest in it. And what has happened here sort of confirms my feelings on that. So they recently dropped an ad. They had a bit of an interactive media, little interface on the app that featured, I guess, a little ad, a little interactive thing that involved this visual. Asking people who looked at it, would you rather slap Rihanna or punch Chris Brown? And to add I don't know, an even more disgusting I guess angle to it, the thing at the top underneath the would you rather question, this little headline over here, and this probably has to do with the company putting this ad out there, but it still says impossible choices. So I don't see how this choice is impossible. I don't see why you would ever want to, in any circumstance, slap Rihanna. I laugh because it's so ridiculously bad. Like this is awful. This is terrible. Like I don't know who would have approved this. Who on Snapchat would have approved this or thought that this was good to post? Who making this or sort of designing this or conceiving this would have thought that in the year of our Lord 2018 that this would have been a good thing to share on a major social media app like. So it's not only that you have a visual here endorsing or I guess stipulating about violence toward a woman, any woman, but you're talking about a specific woman here who has dealt with domestic abuse at the hands of the person featured underneath her. So it's just trash. It's just trash. And I don't know, man. It's just I guess all you can really say is it's tone deaf. And again, I am having a little giggle here, but that is what I'm laughing at. Just the blatant tone deafness of this ad, this visual, this picture. Of course, Rihanna responded on Instagram. Superior app. I'm not doing an ad for Instagram here. I'm on Instagram. I like Instagram a lot more. But she has a full statement here about this exact ordeal, and her slamming Snapchat over this is part of what caused this very negative reaction and this drop in Snapchat's stock price. She says, "Now Snapchat, I know you already know you are not my favorite app out there, but I'm just trying to figure out what the point of this mess was. I'd love to call it ignorance, but I know you're not that dumb. You spend money to animate something that would intentionally bring shame to domestic violence victims and make a joke out of it." I guess in an unintentional fashion, they were certainly bringing shame to victims of domestic violence. To me, I think they were like trying to make a joke out of it, and a really tasteless joke. Or just like try to get a shock out of people to, I don't know, get them to react strongly or just like, oh, I can't believe they said that, or This is not about my personal feelings because I don't have much of them, which, from what I've seen, is true because Rihanna, as far as this whole ordeal she's had with Chris Brown in the past, it seems like she's done her best and has succeeded to not only grow past that ordeal, but also just try to move on from it, and just live her life. Because honestly, it's not really something that comes up that often, despite how horrible it was. If this app thing didn't happen, it's not something we would probably be thinking about too much. Although I will add that, there was kind of a weird moment during that new Little Dicky music video where he switches bodies with Chris Brown, and there's like an obvious joke in there about how when Chris Brown has become Little Dicky and he's like, whoa, people aren't even angry with me over my past, which, like, I don't know, maybe people should be angry with you over your past. The fact that Little Dicky would kind of make a joke or make light of that as well, to me, sort of slipped by a lot of people too. But I guess I digress there. Rihanna goes on to say, but all the women, children, and men that have been victims of domestic violence in the past, because it does happen to everybody. I really appreciate Rihanna's statement there, because that is significant, to be inclusive in the definition of domestic violence, because it's sort of it's a borderless problem. And especially the ones who haven't made it out yet. You let us down. Shame on you. Throw the whole apology. I love the way she put that. Throw the whole apology away. So I wonder how many people are deleting Snapchat over this. Maybe making the transition to a similar app, or just, not replacing it entirely. So I don't know, guys. Those are my thoughts. This is kind of an interesting and a huge moment. That you have a public figure like Rihanna, who can effectively use their platform to, in a way, sink the super awful decisions of a social media giant of a major company like Snapchat. I mean, Snapchat obviously is not going anywhere. They're probably here to stay, but I think it's safe to say that hopefully they and every other app out there who might put out something similar to this have kind of learned their lesson, because in the internet age, you can't just, try to ruin people's reputations or make light of the darkest and most awful portions of their lives, and just see no backlash from that. So, all right, guys, over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Rihanna forever.